All right, here we go. Um, thank you all for joining. This is Scott Reynolds here at Benaware. This enrollment is for Wish Farms, which is a farm located here in Central Florida. And we're going to go over the benefits for this group, which, as I was stating before, we created a landing page for this company, wishfarms.benaware.com. And as you scroll down, you'll actually see all the benefit information, the benefits guide, and then the brochures for the voluntary products. They're also contained in the guide as well. Enrollment is from the 14th, which is Wednesday, until the 21st, which is next Wednesday. This is a scheduled call center, so there are quite a few appointments made already. And I know that for my team, you're not all on the entire thing. Some of you are coming in and out, but that is the entire enrollment period. The 14th to the 21st is what we have set up. Employees are making their appointments with us in advance, and we have probably 100 so far. So that's good stuff. They can make an appointment by clicking on the link here, or they can call our office and we make the appointment for them, just for your knowledge. Now, for sake of time, I went ahead and pulled up all the documents here. This will be enrolled on the GIS platform, and there's a document in the training invite referencing that. There's the link, and then it has specific login information. You're logging in as the employee, so it's employee self-service basically, but you're guiding them through the enrollment. You're clicking the buttons. We actually have a separate training on the GIS platform. It's very simple. You'll see that it's very familiar with what you're accustomed with using our system, and just very easy to navigate. And there's a couple pages of information here on how to get through, how to add a dependent, and so on, how to make your elections. But the training, the specific training on GIS that I'll send you later for your review, is definitely something you should take a look at. Regarding benefits, let's start with the benefits guide, and then we don't have to go into the details of the Allstate plans. You guys are very familiar with Allstate. They are in the attached documents here, and there's pretty good information in the guide as well. So Samantha and Maria, I'm just going to keep on trucking here, and you stop me or jump in or take control or whatever you want to do here as I go through.
Okay, thanks. Sure, thank you.
All right, so this is a benefits guide. This is 40 pages. It's not all benefit information for our purposes. It is for the employees. So you'll see a lot of stuff in here, contacts and things like that we don't really need to know, but it is there for our reference. So we have medical. There's a wellness program we'll talk about, dental, vision, life insurance, disability, 24-hour accident, hospital indemnity, and critical illness. Legal and ID theft. There's an HSA account if they choose the high deductible plan, of course. And then lots of additional information here. Contact information, eligibility, 30 hours a week on average over the last 12 months. Full-timers working 40 hours, dependents age 26 or 25 for the voluntary life. New hires first of the month following 60 days.
If I may, the hour requirement,
Yeah.
So it's 30 hours for medical and it's 40 for everything else. So 30 hours a week offered medical coverage, and then the people who work 40 hours a week are given everything else.
Everything else.
So there was a list that was sent to Deanna indicating the names of the people that are the 30-hour-a-week people. Deanna, do you have that?
Yes, I do. Let me send that over to Scott.
Thank you.
So will that be identified in the GIS system then? The 30-hour employees will only see medical?
No, I believe that the list that Maria sent to Deanna is what we have to differentiate that. It's not something that they have classed out into GIS.
Oh, I see. Qualified life event, marriage or divorce, etc. All right, medical plans with Cigna. So let's take a look here. So we have a low plan, an HSA, and a high plan. Let's see. So deductible, individual and family, across the board. Co-insurance, 90-10, 80-20, 90-10. Max out of pockets, across the board here.
I do want to mention something, if I might.
Yeah.
The deductible on the HSA plan was embedded last year. It's not embedded this year.
Okay.
Are the enrollees aware of the difference?
We are, but if you'd like to explain it, we'll take that info on the recording.
Sure. Embedded deductible means that once one person in the family hits that deductible, satisfies that deductible, then that person goes into the co-insurance phase. But non-embedded means that they have to hit the family deductible.
Mm. Right. And this.
So that's different for them.
Yeah.
That should be pointed out.
A richer benefit this year.
Okay. And this HSA plan, this is the only one with an HSA, even though this is a pretty high deductible here on the low plan. That was actually a question. So the AAP HSA, this is the only one that has an HSA available to the employee if they elect this plan here, right?
Yeah. Sorry, yes.
Even though there's a rather large deductible on the low plan, it's not you're not able to enroll in an HSA program with that low plan.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not an HSA qualified plan, so they can't open up an HSA. Just that middle plan.
Just the middle. Okay.
The one that
Just want to be sure. So you'll see copays for the doctor's visits, except of course for the HSA, where they have to hit the deductible first, and then they have co-insurance. 90% co-insurance at the hospital for the low and the high plan across the board here. And then you're going to see on the HSA, everything's going to be 80-20. Urgent care, 60 or 45. ER, 1,000 or 300 copay. Routine diagnostics, 90-10, 80-20, 90-10. So on the high plan here, there's no cost at all here for labs and X-rays.
correct. That would be for routine diagnostics, lab and X-ray, not the major.
Gotcha. Okay. Prescriptions, so generics, brands, and non-brands, preferred brand names, non-preferred brand names. So generics on the low plan and the high plan, you can see the copays here. And on the HSA plan, they do have a copay after their deductible. 90-day supply or 2.5 month supply. Jeez, what am I saying? 90-day supply for maintenance mail order drugs at either
Yes, 2.5 retail copay only for the high plan.
Okay. So there is no discount.
Really no cost savings on the other two.
I got you.
Just convenient.
And then there are out-of-network benefits for the HSA, not as rich as in-network. And then payroll deductions, these are on a weekly basis. Is everyone in the group paid weekly?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
You
let's
know,
talk about wellness.
essentially,
Yeah, go ahead.
She said, go ahead.
Okay, so let's talk about wellness. So this says, please note if you meet any of the wellness incentives available through Wish Farms, your per pay period deductions will reduce accordingly. So not everyone offers this, but they do here. So Wish Farms is continuing with the wellness initiative, reward employees for positive wellness choices, self-aware and healthy behaviors, and so on. Let's see. Up to a $30 discount per week, $15 per week discount for not using tobacco nicotine, testing required at the on-site health screening. Okay. $5 per
there will be on-site health screenings later on in the month, towards mid-month after the open enrollment.
Okay. Do they do them frequently? I mean, how often are they checking for that? Or doing the health screenings, I should say. Is it just once a year?
I think it's just once a year. That's the only time it's brought to our attention is once a year, just now after the open enrollment meetings.
Okay. And so do they have to do any affidavit or anything, or just do that part?
For the on-site, they'll get whatever, the employer will get whatever affidavit is needed from the company that's doing that.
Okay.
The only thing that the employee must get an affidavit for is that $10 per week discount for participating in an annual physical with your physician.
Yes.
In red, you'll see that they have to get the form, which is at the back of the guide and can be torn off so that they can take that to their physician to be completed and signed and either fax or email it back to me.
Okay. Let me,
They have to do that by January 31st.
all right, let's just take a look at that form real quick here. Is that it? The last page?
Yes, that's it.
The last page. And the back of that is blank, so it doesn't remove any important information once they rip it off.
Okay.
This was at the request of the employer.
Okay. So they get $5 per week off for participating in the health screening. So you have the on-site health screening. If you're not using tobacco or nicotine products, you have $15 by participating at all. Even if you are a tobacco user, you get $5 off, right?
Right.
Yes, like each incentive is its own. So you could do 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, or 3 out of the 3. But it's not like you have to do all of them. They can pick and choose.
Gotcha.
But if they do all three, they're essentially getting that $30.
Right.
If they're on the plan as employee only, as you can see, it's a $30 per week deduction. And so
Yes.
wiping it out, it's taken all free.
Wow. That's great.
Pretty rich.
Yeah.
Jeez. Is this new, this wellness discount program here?
No, they had this last year.
Okay. And nicotine, do those little vaporizer things, are they included in that?
I believe they are.
They consider that tobacco nicotine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. Okay. If you like OAPHC, Wish Farms will contribute $750 per year to employee-only coverage and $1,000 for family coverage. Well, that's nice. Employer contribution towards the HSA.
Correct.
If we can make note to comment on how that breaks down weekly, I think that that would help people to grasp what an advantage that is. So if we can make note that for $750 annually, it breaks down to $14.42 weekly,
Mm-hmm.
and that $1,000 breaks down to $19.23 weekly. I think that will speak to this population more than the annual basis might by itself.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you.
And that helps them because, as you know, the HSA money is only available to them if it's in the account. It's not like an FSA.
Right.
You know, they can only use what's in there.
Right. It accrues over time.
Correct.
Okay. Guardian Dental, 2 options. What's the default? What do you mean by that?
If somebody does not elect a plan, so if they don't choose the NAP versus the value, their default is to be enrolled in a value plan per the employer's request.
I see. Okay. All right. So 100% both plans for preventive, basic services 80 and 100, major 50 and 60. Orthodontia, $1,000 lifetime max, 50%. Deductible is $50 for the individual, $150 for the family. Does not apply to preventive services. $1,000 annual max is for the regular services. No waiting period. Let's see. NAP is better for those seeking out-of-network care. Value is better for in-network. Okay. So, yeah, I see. Find a provider, guardiananytime.com. And this is already in place?
Yes.
And you'll,
No ID cards. You have to download your ID card from the website.
yeah, the employer would really like to make that hit home because she doesn't want people calling her and saying, I didn't get my ID card.
Yeah. All right. Vision also with Guardian.
Sam. Hey, Scott,
Yeah,
just a second.
Go ahead.
With the dental, does Benaware need to enter a dentist?
No, thank you for asking. This is a PPO plan, so the DHMO at chosen dental facility is not required, but that's a good question.
Just saw that,
Appreciate
sorry.
No worries.
Okay. Guardian Vision. Eye exam once a year, $10 copay in network. Materials, $20 copay for the lenses, $20 copay for the frames, $130 allowance plus a discount. And then in lieu of frames, you can get contact lenses. GuardianAnytime.com. You can search for a provider. No ID cards again. You have to download it on the website. Weekly payroll deductions, $1.15 across the board. Wow.
Correct.
It's a combination. Essentially, they choose dental, they choose vision as well, and it's $1.15, right? Is that,
Yeah.
that's where it is.
Yeah, so if we don't have it notated on the side, but if an employee elects dental coverage, they automatically get vision coverage. And that's why that payroll deduction cost looks the same.
I see. Okay. Let me back up. Say that again. If they get vision, they automatically get dental, or vice versa?
Other way around. If they choose dental, they automatically get vision.
And if they don't choose dental,
Is it
they're
the
going
same?
to get defaulted to this plan anyway, so they're going to get the vision.
So, no, good question again. So the reason that came up so he's asking the dental, why does option 2 value say default? They've always enrolled via paper. So many times someone would select employee only, so it's clear that they're electing dental, but they're not putting a plan specific to value versus NAP.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're enrolling with somebody over the phone, they can't really get through that, right? They have to answer that question to move on to the next part of the dialogue. But yeah, so but the rule of thumb by the group is if they elect dental, they automatically get the vision.
Okay.
And does the tier of coverage match as well? So if they enroll in employee children and dental, they get employee children vision. Is that correct?
Same tier.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
So I guess my question would be, what if they wanted to choose family dental and only employee spouse vision? Is that not possible? I guess it doesn't matter because the rate's the same.
Same price.
Yeah, and I mean the system. So to your point, the system is not going. It will allow them to do that. It's not like we have it built so that dental and vision must mirror each other. It's the rule of thumb on how the group processes the enrollments, but it's not like we don't have that rule built into Benefits Connect. So Benefits Connect will allow somebody to take family dental and single vision without issue.
Don't know why they won't do that.
Right. I think they incentivize the employee to take the same tier by making the payroll deduction the same.
Okay. Scott, you and your team good on that?
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Basic life insurance and AD&D employer paid $15,000. Looks like for everyone. Age reduction, of course. Voluntary life guarantee issue only if it's the first time. New hire, like a new hire, for example. If you waive, you have to complete that EOI. Future enrollment can be denied coverage. So under 65, guarantee issue for new hires is $150,000. Spouse is $25,000. Children are 10. Rates are here, but I'm sure they're in the system.
Yes, they are.
And I have a question. Are these rates also weekly or are these monthly premiums?
Let's see if it says anywhere here.
I'm going to pull up the benefit summary that I have to.
I actually pulled it from the Guardian.
EPOD.
Yeah. I mean, I had to create this at the last minute, so it's exactly monthly.
That's got to be weekly.
20 cents.
Yeah, that would have to be weekly.
They're weekly.
Okay.
They're weekly?
I have the Guardian plan document pulled up, and the voluntary cost illustration is weekly premiums displayed. Cost of AD&D is included.
Got it.
So weekly with cost of AD&D included. And then just to comment, while your enrollers are online in Benefits Connect, as they toggle around, maybe they'll bounce from $50,000 to $120,000 to see the cost difference. It's going to give the weekly payroll deduction in the system that they can read to the employee.
Okay.
Okay, good. I was going to start to panic.
Good.
And what about an EOI? Where does the employee get that and send it?
HR. Typically, like this group does not let their employees see Benefits Connect. They've always enrolled via paper, so they're used to having them go to HR to retrieve that document.
All right. Okay, short-term and long-term disability, Guardian again.
Mm-hmm.
This is voluntary products. 66.67% of weekly earnings. No waiting period for an accident, 7-day waiting period for illness, 26-week benefit period. And I'm sure the rates will be in the system.
Correct.
LTD, 60% up to whatever class you are, $5,000 or $10,000. Let's see, 180-day elimination period, of course, to match up with the STD. Pays until Social Security normal retirement age. 312 pre-X. Well, is this a new plan or was this already in place?
It was already in force.
Okay.
What's the pre-X on short term? I imagine it would be the same.
It is the same.
I'll tell you in just a moment. It is. Okay. Wow. Short-term disability, pre-existing conditions, not applicable.
Right, that's right.
Interesting.
I checked that out for Corey.
Rich benefit.
Yeah,
No pre-X on short-term disability.
that's what it said.
These plans were sold prior to us AORing them a year ago, so it must be something that the prior agent negotiated when they sold the plans through that GIS.
I think that was unusual, but
Okay.
All right. Some new voluntary products with Allstate. Kind of high level here, but much more detail in the brochures that were attached there. So $50 preventive wellness doctor's visit. Two per person, 4 if they have dependent coverage. $200 for initial medical treatment, $400 for x-rays, and the whole grid, the fee schedule is in the brochure itself. $2,000 for initial hospitalization, $400 a night in the hospital. Pretty high. Broken bones, dislocations, etc. $20,000 accidental death benefit for the employee. And then the weekly rates. Just go based on the fee schedule though. Hospital indemnity, this is group indemnity medical with Allstate, also a new one. 2 plan options, $1,000 or $2,000 initial hospitalization, and $100 or $200 a day for hospital confinement, or $200 or $400 for ICU. No pre-existing condition exclusion or pregnancy waiting period.
they do have several pregnant ladies.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know exactly who they are, but we know that there are several. So this would definitely,
Speak to them.
the hospital would definitely be something they should consider for sure.
Okay. Good. Critical illness, $10,000 or $20,000 guarantee issue. $50 benefit for wellness, screening, heart attack, stroke, etc. And you'll see the listing in the brochure as well. And then it has the additional benefits are also listed here, 25%, but they are payable. Spouse and children, dependents on Allstate is always at 50%. And then covered at no cost. Children are covered at no cost. Rates vary by employee, age, coverage tier, and tobacco use, of course. 1212 pre-X. And I was just going to ask that. Waive for employees that chose to migrate from Guardian Critical Illness Plan to Allstate. Time served. So time served means it's a 1212 pre-X. If I'm a new hire and I've only had the Guardian policy 6 months, then Allstate will waive 6 months of my pre-X going forward after the effective date. And again, there's more details in the brochure on this.
And if you just make sure that you guys look at the brochures, it's a normal critical illness policy you guys are all aware of. This policy will have a recurrence benefit for critical illness and for cancer, 12-month separation.
Yeah, there it is. Second event, critical illness and cancer. And the rates are here, non-tobacco and tobacco, but they're in the system, I'm sure. Hyatt Legal and Cyber Scout identity theft. $21 a month. Is this bundled, the two into one here?
It is.
Legal and identity theft? Okay. So you guys are all familiar with this. A lot of groups are doing these products these days. So you have identity theft restoration. You have all of the services that come under a basic legal plan. You know, it's not going to be a trial lawyer defense if you off somebody, but basic things. Will, traffic tickets, it's that kind of stuff. It's all listed here.
This is not a discount program. This is actually coverage for these things. So they pay the monthly cost, and these things are covered. Email address is absolutely mandatory in order to set up for the ID theft. So just make sure when you're going through the demographic information in GIS Benefits Connect that you're collecting a valid email address for every employee. If one is already in the system because they've utilized it before, just please confirm it, because we'll need to pull that data from Benefits Connect post-enrollment to send to the carrier.
Okay. Is an HSA right for me? This is a little calculator that the employee can use, and there's an example also. The HSA with the employer contribution is, pretty attractive. Eligible expenses for an HSA, and then the next many pages of this is additional information like this. HSA card. How to use it.
Sam and Maria, you guys were going to get with GIS to see if they could add HSA contribution to the portal. Is that correct? You guys want to speak to that?
Yes, I did send that request. So the way that we've asked GIS to add this to Benefits Connect. The HSA contribution should only be viewable or discussed if the employee elects the high deductible health plan that we talked about, that middle option on the medical page. So if an employee elects one of the copay traditional style plans, whether it be the low or the high, they cannot contribute to an HSA. Right? So just that middle plan is when we'll talk about contributions. And we're expecting that GIS will have the HSA contribution screen immediately following medical if the employee elects the HSA compatible medical plan. And additionally, we've asked that GIS, if they elect either that OAPIN low or the OAPIN high, they will not be offered the health savings account contribution option.
Right.
They will be able to elect the FSA medical. They do offer an FSA medical, as well as the dependent care FSA. So if somebody takes the HSA plan, they're only eligible for the dependent care FSA. They're no longer eligible for the medical FSA.
Tell me if I'm wrong though, they still have to go to Jessica if they have never opened up an HSA account before. So they will have to go to HR in order to do that.
Yes, they will need to see HR. If they've never opened up a health savings account, then they will need to see HR I'm sure that question would come up on the phone. How do I open a health savings account?
Right.
See HR.
Okay, say that part again. So if they elect the HSA, they cannot get the medical FSA, but they can get the dependent care, of course.
Correct.
Is that restricted in the system? Is that enroller monitored?
Yes. No, that is the system is built that way.
Okay.
We're just mentioning in here for the working
system. The system should be built that way. Let's just be on the lookout and monitor it from an enroller standpoint.
Okay, and the 30 or so people that are the 30-hour folks, is that enroller monitored? It sounds like it is.
That is enroller monitored.
So
that is not something that we have classed out in Benefits Connect.
30 hours medical only. Is the basic life in the system? Company paid basic life in the system?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So is that include, do they get that? Good Lord. Spit it out.
So
if they work 30 hours, do they get life?
They don't get that. It's something we will have to clean up on the back end. It's not something your team will have to worry about. It's just not something that we built into the portal for this open enrollment. Again, this client has always been paper, so we haven't had to think of these intricacies until this season.
So we will see it as an option for a 30-hour employee, but we won't be able to waive it.
For the employer paid, you are correct.
Right.
And that also applies to STD and LTD because that is employer paid as well.
For 40-hour employees.
Right, but it won't apply to the 30, but it'll still be on the screen. What do we have to get?
I think we just need to clean it up on the back end. Like, I'm going to make a note to Jessica now.
Oh yeah. I even missed that. It is no cost to the employee for the short-term disability and the long-term disability. Missed that part. Okay. So those 30-hour employees don't get basic life, they don't get STD, they don't get LTD, and they cannot enroll in anything else either.
Except for medical, correct.
Just medical, correct.
Yeah,
I need to throw another little wrench in the works.
Okay.
I'm sorry, because it just dawned on me when we were talking about HSA and FSA. If an employee is going to, because you're going to see the prior enrollment in there. If an employee is in the HSA and now they're moving to one of the copay plans, is there any possibility of the enroller mentioning to them that they can no longer contribute to the HSA? Or is that getting too messy?
I mean, we can mention it. We've got it here on the recording. I've got it in my notes here, and we'll follow back on that too. But you're saying that the system is set up so that if they were on the HSA plan, medical plan, and they move to the higher low plan, they will no longer see an HSA available to them to contribute to, correct?
Well, Sam, what do you think?
Can you say that one more time?
I'm currently enrolled in the HSA medical plan. I choose for 2019 to enroll in the low plan, the copay plan. When I go to enroll in the low copay plan, because I've chosen that, I will no longer see the HSA contribution box, correct?
Correct. That is what we've asked GIS to build in Medicare Connect. Correct.
Okay. HSA.
Okay, so that should take care of itself.
All right. I think we got it. So that concludes all of the benefits. I have the brochures here for the worksite products, but we can review those in our own time. This is the link and login information for Benefits Connect, which I already have pulled up here as well. Do we have a test employee in here or someone that we could go through either now or later that the enrollers could use?
We have not been given a test employee yet, but Bo, that's something. Bo, would you normally be expecting to see a test employee for this site, or is that something that Allstate handles directly?
No, we would normally see a test employee. We should too, because we want to test to make sure everything's in the system the way that we expect it to be.
Agreed.
And it would
Agreed.
be nice,
Yeah.
it'd be nice for being a vendor to have the same access.
Okay, I will make note. I will request that now. Obviously, Samantha, Maria, Bo will all need test employees, but I'll ask for maybe 3 of them for the Benaware team since there's multiple on your side. Is that okay?
That's great. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to recap on my notes here to make sure I've covered bases. So there is an employer contribution to the HSA if the employee chooses the HSA medical plan of $750 or $1,000. We're going to communicate that as a weekly amount to the employee, $14.42 or $19.23. If an employee needs an evidence of insurability form because they're a late entrant on the life insurance, on the voluntary life, they'll need an EOI, and they go to HR for that. If they are a new HSA participant and they would like to, they need to open their account. They need to go to Human Resources for that. 30-hour employees get medical only, although we will see all the other benefits displayed, including employer-paid benefits that they definitely don't get of basic life, STD, and LTD. And then we will advise the employees if they are currently in an HSA and move to the co-pay plan, either high or low, that they are no longer eligible to participate in the HSA. Does anyone on my team have any questions about anything? No? That's good.
Just as an FYI,
All right, go ahead.
the employer had asked us to repeat the payroll deduction towards the back of the guide. So the employees wouldn't have to go, page by page. And there's also a per paycheck deduction worksheet that they can use. We've asked them to have this prepared before they speak to an enroller. We had hoped that that would help you guys.
It's in the back of the benefits guide.
Right, it's right across from the wellness form.
Yeah. So these couple pages, page 37 has the deductions for everything in one page.
Mostly.
Page 38 here has a little paycheck calculator.
Now, the only thing that does not include is the HSA deduction if they're going to contribute to an HSA account.
Yeah.
We kind of thought that out after the books were printed. Sorry about that.
One other thing, if they're, I'm sorry, I can't remember. Did you say that the GIS was going to restrict this or not? If I enroll in an HSA and contribute to the HSA, does it block me from enrolling in medical FSA, or is that enroller monitored?
We said it was just blocked. It was going to lock them out of opening up an medical FSA.
Yes, we've asked,
Yeah.
correct, we've asked GIS to build the portal so that if somebody elected an HSA plan, it gives them the option to contribute to the HSA. And then they will not be allowed to see the FSA medical if they've elected the HSA. And they're not allowed to see the FSA medical whether they contribute or not to the HSA because they're going to be receiving monies from their employer in the HSA. So whether or not they're
in the HSA no matter what. Yeah. Got
right.
it.
Yeah. Correct. Yep.
Okay. All right. Good to know. And then there's that wellness form they'll need. All right. So we'll wait to get the test people so that we can walk through the system, and I might even pull the enrollment team together to do that. But I'll definitely show you guys that. I'll send you guys that link to that GIS training that we did previously, and you'll see that once you log in, it's next. Basically, it's a very simple system to use. So I'll send out this link as well for this training here today for your review. And like I said, we start on Wednesday, but of course not all of you do. I think Eric, you're on Wednesday, and then the rest of you kind of come and go. And we look forward to seeing everyone here. We've got, like I said, about 100 employees or so, something like that, 90 or 100 signed up so far, and I'm sure we'll get everybody.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Anything else to add from anyone on the AllTrust team, or any enrollers have questions before we cut loose here?
I just thank you for putting this call together. Maria was saying this is a newer process, and we're both really pleased. So thank you all for your time.
Great, our pleasure.
Very good.
Thanks for your help as well. Everybody have a great day, and I'll be following up later. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.